What's happening, Xavier?
What's going on, Jazz? How we doing, boss?
Much, brother, not much. Great intro. I'm here in a hotel room in Chicago, an hour time difference from the Eastern time zone. I'm excited to say we did an amazing brokerage training for a real brokerage based out of Chicago for about 20 agents. And then we have an event coming up in a couple of days with Real Brokerage as well for a couple of hundred agents here in Chicago. And so it was kind of cool. It was the first time that I was ever in the States during the election time. It was kind of cool, whatever which way, if your guy won or your girl lost in this one. I always like to remind people, and I've been saying this to my Canadian friends for over a decade, that it doesn't matter when when the red government, the blue government, this somewhat new reddish orange government we have in our country, or if it's the blue or the red government in the States, it doesn't really matter who's in power in terms of what you actually have control over. And so I want to make sure I actually get started with the mindset that I think is needed the day after the one of the biggest elections, really, across the world for one of the biggest countries in the world. Is that, look, the government is going to do what they do. They're going to make some changes. They're going to keep some of the stuff the same. They're going to promise a lot of things. There's good, there's bad, and there's ugly. But unfortunately, what they do cannot and will not change your outcome unless you allow it to. People make money with all governments in power. People build massive businesses with any government in power. And so I want to, again, remind everyone of the formula that I've been lucky enough and blessed to be living with, that was taught to me at the age of 22, 23. And you guys and gals should be writing this down. The formula is E plus R equals O. The event who won the election. That's the E. Your response, the R, is the only thing that you can control that will determine the outcome. So the next time a client tells you that they're going to list a property with you or buy a property with you, and then they choose to do that with their cousin Vinny, well, that's the event. How are you going to respond? Are you going to get back up and start prospecting for new business? Are you going to let that bother you and put you in a negative spiral downwards for the next 2, 3 days and get into the thought of complaining? Or are you going to say, that's what happens. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. Now, that's always up to you. You always have the response, your response to any event to determine the outcome. And so that's where I wanted to kind of get started today. I also want to thank my team in the back end, both Xavier and Tyler, that are on this webinar with me, but also the handful of guys and gals that you don't see on screen. My business partner for From the Ground Up Academy, Laura Stewart, as well as Tilly Murphy, our dean of the academy, and our full media team, including Clyde, Bo, Alex, and Way, Nikki, and Steven, that do so much to put these events and these webinars on. And so as we sit here in the fall of 2024, the team and I sat down and said, what should we be doing this webinar on? We have thousands upon thousands of hours of content recorded online. We have thousands upon thousands of written content that we can be discussing with you guys. But based on the emails we get from most real estate professionals that are in our database, that receive our newsletter, as well as the guys and gals that follow us on social and send us DMs and private messages, it was quite apparent that a theme started to come about. And that theme was, Jazz, look, I really understand the importance of certain aspects of the business, but I need some money right now. I gotta get some leads, or I might be out of the business. And so what we're going to be talking about is three things, non-negotiables, that you have to do in 2025. Otherwise, I think you're going to have a very tough time having consistent leads and longevity in the business. But these same three things, if used in the holistic approach that I'm going to be talking about today, it can get you business in the next 2 to 3 weeks. You heard me right. I'm going to go out on a limb. If you set up and start doing these three strategies that I'm going to be talking about today, you can leave this webinar with the toolbox that you need to generate leads, people that are thinking about buying, selling, investing, and refinancing or getting a mortgage for our cousins in the industries, the mortgage brokers and loan officers, within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So let's get started. As Avery said, I think we're going to ask that you put all your questions right in the comments. But if you guys have done it in the Q&A, that's perfectly fine. Go back and forth. I'm going to go on with these tools for the next about 20 minutes. And then I want to jump right into Q&A, guys, because whatever you're going through in your business, there is a high probability that I've been through it or I'm currently going through it. Because let's not forget, I'm in the business. For the guys and gals that don't know me, I have a team, a real estate team of 42 agents based out of Toronto, Canada. We have a team called REC Canada. It's out of Royal LePage, Canada, Royal LePage Signature to be specific. We've been in the top 10 in Royal LePage for the last 15 years. And so I tell you all this not to impress you. And for the ones that do follow me on social, you know that I'm not one to brag about our awards and talk about all the properties we sold. But I think in this setting, I think it's very important for you to hear where the tools and the strategy and the experience and the results and the advice is coming from. And so we've been lucky enough, and I say lucky enough because we've been blessed and we're very grateful to help about 600 to 600 families every single year for the last decade. 600 families we help either buy, sell, or invest every single year like clockwork. And the one thing that's been consistent is these three strategies I'm going to talk about. And so I want you to really understand that this has to and should be used in a very holistic approach. The three ways to start generating business is starting off with number one, which is the people that already know you, like you, and trust you. Okay? So people that know you, like you, and trust you, they need to be in your CRM. And I say it slowly because I have said this a million times over and over to a lot of you because I see some of your names that are on the webinar. But for some reason, you're not taking it serious enough. The CRM in our real estate business is the most fundamental tool that we need to have because it will help us automate lead generation. It will help us automate the system and the process of following up. Being reactive right now is not a good strategy. You have to be proactive, meaning that you can't just wait for someone to call you. Because as the market has shifted right across North America, and I say that from the perspective of sales volume, just a black and white number, no longer are people calling us inbound or emailing us as much as they did in the last 12 to 24 months. And so a way to control that and have more sustainability is to go outbound. Now, I am not going to speak today in future webinars and in-person events for our people in the Greater Toronto area. Please come join us in person. I will speak about cold calling and door knocking and doing open houses. All strategies that still work. However, if you don't have a CRM and as you bring in these people that you cold call, door knock, or you meet at an open house, and if they say to you, we're not ready this day, we're not ready this month, and if you don't have some type of system in place to follow up with them, you will fall out of this business because you deserve to. We're not selling paper bags and telephones. this is a massive transaction that someone is going to get involved with. We have to give it the respect it deserves. The national statistic right across the US, because their data is so huge, is that the average person needs to be followed up 17 times before they buy, sell, or invest. Let that sink in for everyone. A person who buys, sells, or invests, on average, needs to be followed up on 17 times. Now ask yourself, how many times did you stop following up with someone after the second call or the second email? I actually think for most of us in this business, there's a huge opportunity. The huge opportunity lies in that 95% of real estate professionals won't get past the third follow-up. So all you got to do to win is outwork people. And the way that you do that is set up the system one time. Automatically, it will send emails on a bi-weekly basis that will provide education, not necessarily just market up screenshots of market updates. That no longer will suffice because everyone's doing it. And so what we have to do to differentiate ourselves is explain what those market stats mean. Explain ways that you can create wealth in real estate. We do a lot of business out of the 650 transactions that are both listings, first-time home buyers, as well as move-up buyers. But what we found, here's the secret sauce. What we found is that we targeted the public that wanted to create wealth in real estate. Why? Because most agents, the 1.5 million in North America, target people who might think about buying or selling. But that's only about 5 to 7% in any given market. We know that. Again, a black and white statistic that the market only turns over 5 to 7% of people a year. And so that leaves 95% of people that are not necessarily thinking about buying or selling. But most people, hence why we had, I think, over 400 to 500 people registered for today's webinar. Most people, like you, are trying to get out of the rat race. You came on this webinar today to find one nugget, one golden nugget that can help you make more money for whatever reason. And everyone's reasoning is different. And there's nothing wrong with maybe you want a better car, maybe you want a better house, maybe you want better clothes, maybe you want to create financial freedom for your life, maybe you want to teach your kids, whatever it may be. We are all looking for that golden nugget. The public, outside of us real estate professionals, also want that, especially the guys and gals that are the 9-to-5ers. So the education you want to provide in following up with your clients and prospects and family and friends is of creating wealth, helping them get out of the rat race because you have a product that can help them do that. Here's why it's the secret sauce. Because as you reach out to people with emails, as you start calling people, because within your CRM, you have to set it up where you send out emails every other week and you call people 3 times a year. That might sound like a lot, but if you do the math around it, if you have 500 people in your CRM right now of your friends, your family, people you worked with in the past, prospects that reached out to you, 500, that's 1,500 calls in a year. Sounds like a lot, but if you work 300 days a year, you take 65 days off for easy math, that's only 5 calls a day. That's not a lot to generate 40 to 50 deals in a year. And in most markets across North America, 40 to 50 deals will put you in the top 1% in the business. And so what we want to do is, as we make these phone calls, as we send out these emails, the people that we add is everyone and anyone that is 18 plus and has a pulse. Because if they're 18 plus and have a pulse, that means there's a good chance they know other people. We have right now currently in our real estate database, REC Canada's, 13,636 people. 13,636 people. If none of them bought for me, I would be fine. I'll explain. Because what I'm really looking for is the people that are in my database, their friends and family. Because the average person knows 200 people. So if you only had 200 people, you might say, that's not a lot. Jazz, you have 13,000. Yeah, but I've been nurturing a database for 20 years. I should be further along. That's all it is. I'm just a little further along the process than you currently are. But if you have 200 people in your CRM that you email every other week, as well as set up a phone call for 90 days, every 120 days, so every 4 months, your network now is 40,000, because 200 people that know 200 people that know 200 people, you have a network of a possible 40,000 people. And all you're looking to do is 40 to 50 deals. Now, out of those 1,500 phone calls that you need to make a year, you want to set up, here's the numbers. You want to set up 200 consultations in the year. That's less than one a week. Sorry, I apologize. That's 4 in a week. That's 4 appointments in a week. And these appointments are going to be surrounded around having conversations with people that might want to create wealth in real estate. And what you're going to find as you get into conversations with people, this is very important. Until robots start to sell to robots, we need people. We sell to people. So you got to meet a lot of people. Hence why I also said 18 plus and have a pulse. You meet the barista at Starbucks, your Uber driver. I don't care if the person just came from India and they're going to rent for the rest of their life. They're going to meet other people that if you educate them, you nurture that one person, they will tell other people about you. So that is strategy number 1. Building out your CRM with sending out bi-weekly emails, as well as calling everyone and just asking for their permission. Now, for my guys who have already possibly set up their CRM and have asked for the permission, and if you haven't, I'll give you a quick script. But if you have, what you want to do is call and ask for an appointment. And the appointment call is simple. You're going to call. You're going to say, Joe, it's Jazz calling. It's been a minute. How you been? How's the kids? Great. Listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time today, Joe, but a lot of my community have been reaching out to me with all the news with the interest rate changes, values going up, volumes going down. There's a lot happening. In fact, the election just happened in the stateside. So people are starting to reach out to us. And what we started is something we call a financial checkup from the neck up. Joe, you know how you go to the doctor and do that health checkup every year? We started something that's a financial checkup, just trying to get a better idea of what you might want to accomplish long-term in possibly creating wealth. And I'll show you some ways that I've seen others win. And if it's a match, we'll move to the next step. Joe, when's usually good for you, during the days or the afternoons? And then you close for an appointment. On that appointment, you're going to ask questions like, hey, what's the value of your home? What's the mortgage? How much equity do you have? Have you considered maybe refinancing, pulling out equity, maybe getting a line of credit, and then investing into an income property where you rent out the upstairs and downstairs, something that we can also help you with? Maybe you're looking into a new build or a pre-construction home or condo because the investment is, your down payment is staggered out. If you don't do that in your market, don't talk about that. There's other ways that you can invest into real estate using your registered funds. You explain that to them. You're going to find that out of 200 people, okay, you're going to see that the numbers end up working out for you to do an extra 20 to 30 deals just out of those 200 appointments, because you're coming at it with a different tact. You're not trying to sell them on reasons they should sell a home, like sell their home. You're coming at it to educate them to possibly create wealth and help them out of the rat race. Number 2 strategy, educational events. Your first event should be put on in the next 3 weeks. I'm going to give you 2 events that you can put on. Pick which one you want to do. This is a strategy, and the reason it works, hence why we have hundreds of people on this event, you can do an online webinar. If you choose to do an online webinar, I want you to invite a loan officer or an independent mortgage broker. And I want you to talk about ways that you can invest into real estate through refinancing your property and or getting a home equity line of credit, as well as educate your community on the differences of how rates work. What's going on with all these changes within the Bank of Canada, or what the feds are doing on the state side. I want you to educate what's going to happen. Again, because you're speaking to people, you have a very good chance that somebody reaches out and says, hey, I want more information. Side note, I'm going to peel back the curtains, guys. Why do we do these webinars? Why do we, in our coaching academy from the ground up, FTGU Academy, why do we put on these webinars? Well, we have people on. We know everybody who signed on. I'm peeling back the curtains. I got nothing to hide here. Like, I'm not full of shit. And if you think I am, call me out. It's okay. The reason we do it is because you kind of raised your hand now. There's a little bit of interest in you wanting to get more information, not necessarily about our coaching company, but you're trying to better your business. You're a real estate professional. You're my target. Now, there's a high probability that we're going to reach out and say, hey, is there some resources we can give you for free? And we're going to wine and dine you a little bit. Again, I'm peeling back the curtains. The events work because there's masses of people showing up in person or online. If you choose the in-person route, this is what I'm doing for my real estate company now. I am doing something we've done for probably about 8 to 9 years, is a holiday toy drive. Instead of me going and doing drop-offs with holiday cards and wine and a box of chocolates, something that I used to do about 15, 20 years ago, what I've done this time around and in the last 7 to 8 years is I do a holiday drive and I call everyone. You have a great reason to call people because you're attaching it to charity. You might not celebrate Christmas, I get it, but the holiday time is a very festive time. People will take your phone call and they'll be okay if you call and say, hey, Johnny, Jazz calling, what's going on? Listen, I'm doing a holiday drive for the local sick kids hospital. And we're taking in, because it's for the sick kids hospital, there's no used toys. So we're taking in new toys. Can you come by, man, and drop something off? It doesn't need to be $600. It doesn't need to be, one of these kid SUV Mercedes-Benz things. It could be a little Tonka toy, man, a little teddy bear, stuffed animal. Listen, drop-off times are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, okay? And you give them the times. And then guess what you do? You make sure you're there at your office. I would do this at your office. If you're comfortable at your home, you can do it at your home. But make sure you're there. Because when they come, and they will, I promise you, they will come, you start talking to them and seeing how they're doing, thanking them for dropping off a toy and supporting. And you find out what they're up to. You build the relationship. You let them know that you're going to do more events in the future on how to create wealth using real estate as the vehicle. Do you know anyone else, Johnny, that might be interested? What happens, guys, because this is exactly how we get 85% of our business comes from the 3 tools that I'm going to be talking to you about today. 85%. What happens? He says, whoa, what do you mean these events and investing into real estate? What do you have? What are you helping people with? And then conversations start to happen. And that's when deals start to happen. I can't stress enough, as I know more and more people have been coming on and signing on. You cannot be reactive, guys. I don't want you to start doing this in 2025. I want you to start this in the next 3 weeks. The CRM, you could do tonight. And if you don't know how to do it, reach out to us. There's ways that we can help. But it's not that hard. Google it, YouTube it. But if you're still somebody that needs help, reach out. We're here. I'm not doing this webinar to sell you something today. I'm not that dumb. I'm not that smart, but I'm also not that dumb to say and to think to sell you something the first time that we met. I like to take the whining and dining approach. There's a hotel lobby where I'm staying here in Chicago, and last night I went by there to have a little late night drink as I wanted to just kind of cool down from my flight. And I saw a couple of guys in the hotel lobby pushing and being a little creepy, and my girls know what I'm talking about, trying to just get the girls into the room. A much better strategy would have been whining and dining. Saying, hey, can I get you a glass of wine? Hey, you want to do some lunch tomorrow? And then the lunch turns into dinner. And then if the dinner goes well, then that could go really a lot of different ways, but sometimes that goes right to the meet the parents. But as real estate salespeople, we try to close on the spot the first time we meet. So, number 1, CRM. Number 2, educational event. You want to do an in-person event? I want you to do the holiday pop-in. If you choose to do the virtual event, you do the mortgage broker. Okay, number 3. Now, this is the one that I know a lot of you have a tough time with. But if you guys would be kind enough, just put in the comments, not in the Q&A, just in the comments, just as an exercise, because I can't see you. I usually do this in person. Can you just let me know how you heard about FTGU Academy or the good-looking Indian guy that is Jazz Takar? Just put it in the comments. I have a funny, oh, there, it's coming through. Number 1, IG, keep coming through. Let's go. Social media, let's go. Got my podcast, keep going. Come on, guys, watch the comments. Everybody, please, in the comments, just watch. Keep going. Okay, perfect. There's a brokerage in there. There's another. I'm gonna wait. I got a minute. I want to really prove something to everybody. Received an email, great. Okay, keep going. I want everybody in the comments. If you're like, all you need to do is just write how you met me. You are about to see 90%. So now you know I'm not bullshitting when I come up with percentages. 90% of people met me through social media, an event, or an email. I'm going to say that again. 90% of the people that put stuff in the comments, and I appreciate the guys and gals that didn't, and if you didn't, come on. It's like just 4 letters. 90% came to an event, got an email from me. Tyler served me at a restaurant. Oh, Tyler, we'll have to tell that story one day. Or got an email. Email, social media, or an event. What's the 3 things I'm talking to you about today? Guys, this works. Okay? Social media. And before I go on to social media, again, I hope for the last 25 minutes that we've been doing this, and start putting your questions in the comments. Okay? You like how I did that? I got you in the comments, got you comfortable doing the comments. Now I'm going to ask you to put your questions in there because you're going through something in your business right now. And I'm confident enough, sitting in a windy day in Windy City today in Chicago, that I'm going to be able to help you through this, okay? What I wanted to explain to you is that my real estate company does the 650 to 700 transactions. On the back of that company, with the same strategy, myself and Laura Stewart, and if you guys don't follow Laura Stewart I'm talking to you about social media. Highly recommend. Tyler, if you could just put in, or Z, at Laura Stewart TO in the comments on Instagram. I think that's her favorite platform, at Laura Stewart TO. Okay, go follow her, because what I'm talking about when it comes to social media, she does this even better than I. And trust me, if there's a time I can throw her under the bus, I would, and not give her her flowers, because I don't like to. But it's Laura Stewart TO, at Laura Stewart. There you go. Good job, Zizi. What you need to do on social media, and sorry, let me backtrack in terms of what we did with the coaching company. Myself and Laura Stewart, on the back of the real estate company, we took the same strategies and built a multi-million-dollar coaching company in the last 28 months. We did some media for people, and then now we came into a full-blown coaching company. Again, I'm not telling you guys this from a bragging perspective. My parents, they filled up the cup a long time ago. That's why we wear this. I don't need it from anyone else anymore. It's overflowing. I can give now to more people. So I'm not telling you from an ego perspective when I tell you the numbers. The same three things, guys. And the third one, social media, being the one that took us to scale. Hence why I got people from California. We got people from North Carolina. We got people from Florida. I've never met these people from what I know. It's because they saw videos. It's the fastest and the cheapest. I'm going to say it again. The fastest and the cheapest way for you to get awareness. See, for somebody to do business with you, they need to trust you. They need to like you, and they need to know you. They need to trust you, they need to like you, and they need to know you. I left the last one at the end because it's the most important. People think, oh, I need them to trust me. That's the biggest and the most important. You have no shot at them trusting you or liking you if they never know you. And a lot of you are real estate agents when we ask you on webinars like this, but when you're out and about in the business, you're doing this. You're a secret agent. It works for 007. It doesn't work for this business. You have to be out there. And I know it's weird. Trust me. I'm in episode 271 of my podcast. My first podcast 5 years ago, up until like my 20th podcast, it was so nervous. 7 years ago, I'm 42 years old. It sounded like I was going through puberty. I was so nervous. I actually was so nervous that I started it as an audio podcast because I didn't want people to see my face. Because at times I had a lazy eye. And I was worried about me saying that I'm from Rexdale and people seeing me in a hoodie. And sometimes I say that word, fuck this and that, F-bombs. And I was worried what they were going to, and how they were going to judge me. And then I came across this thesis that I learned, which was, I realized that most people were never really thinking about me as much as I thought that they were thinking about me. I'm going to say that again. See, I came to realize that most people weren't thinking about me as much as I thought that they were thinking about me. They might have seen a video of mine, made a quick judgment, but then they scrolled on and life went on. But as I didn't get comfortable and as I didn't consistently put out content, what was happening was I was losing out on opportunity. And then I said to myself, I'm going to put out 2 to 3 videos a day. I'm going to get obsessed with this. Why? Not to hack the algorithm. It was because I realized that if I put 2 or 3 out, I'm going to speed up the process. I'm going to speed up the process in getting better. It was weird the first time I did a video. I wasn't good at it. It was weird the first time I did a podcast. It was weird the first time that I put an agreement of purchase and sale together and I couldn't remember the clauses that I learned in the licensing process. It was weird the first time I drove. It was weird the first time I kissed a girl. But the more and more I did all those things, I got better and better and better. And I got more feedback. The girl told me, well, that sucked. I realized I needed to speak maybe a little faster on video and have a hook. I realized that, oh, okay, the lighting, if I stand in front of a window with the light coming into my phone, will be better. But if I never consistently did that, that feedback loop would never have gotten started. So what you need to do, I will not tell you you need to do 2 to 3 videos a day, because you will think I'm on crack and I will lose you. I need you to do 2 to 3 videos a week. 3 videos a week. On what, Jazz? Well, I'll give you some options. Out of the 3 videos, 2 of them need to be real estate related. It's your business. Please don't say, call me at the end of the video. They're waiting for that to be sold. Give the education on ways that they can create wealth. Give them the education on how they can sell their own home. Give them the education on how they can buy, all on their own. They're not going to do it. Don't worry. We have the statistics. 98% of people that actually transact in a home, meaning buy, sell, or invest, they do it with a real estate agent. 2% actually do it from the FSBO market. Forget the 2%. Who gives a shit? Focus in on the 98 that we know that buy and sell and invest. And you're also going to create new investors because you're putting out content around that. The third video, I need you to talk about the comma. I saw a comment that just came through from Lindsay saying whatever I was saying was relatable. Well, tell that story, Lindsay, because see, me telling the story made it relatable for you. I don't think, as good as you and I are, we're the only ones who might be going through whatever was relatable to each other. See how that works? So your comma, third video, needs to be about something that you might be passionate about. Hence why I told you to follow Laura Stewart. I think her number one passion, other than helping people in our business, is eating. You're going to see a lot of food videos. People stop her in the bathroom, in the elevators, and say, oh my God, I love that food video. And yes, someone said fashion, so you obviously know her. And fashion, movies, sports, books, nieces, kids, parents, cameras, anything. Why? Because then it doesn't get boring on your feed that all you're doing is talking about real estate. 3 videos every single week. Number 1 is your CRM. Start making phone calls, talking to people, because this business is all about people. Belly to belly. In person or online. Number 2 is putting on one of those events in the next 3 weeks. Number 3 is social media. I'm going to leave you with this, and then we're going to jump into Q&A for the next 5 minutes. So get your questions ready, guys. And let's go rapid fire. Z, if you can just start lining them up for me. Here's what I'm going to leave you with. If you do not schedule this webinar with my energy, my passion, I hope was valuable, but you will do nothing with it. You'll be like 99% of the people. 99% of people will not do anything after reading a book, buying a book. They don't get past the first chapter, watching a webinar, coming to an event. They don't take action. Be in the 1%, which is doing what 99% of people don't do. The easiest way to do it is by scheduling it. 3 hours every single day that you work, non-negotiable, non-negotiable. 3 hours every single day you work. I don't care what time you pick. Just make it consistent. Don't take any other appointments, because if you take other appointments in that scheduled time of business development / lead generation, that 3 hours a day, you will be out of business. There will be no business to be had. I don't give a shit about your listing presentation. Because if you don't have any clients that you're generating you will not be able to present the fucking listing presentation to anybody. Stop making your website the sexiest and coolest website. Very few people go to websites, guys and gals. The biggest search engines right now is Google, that takes you to videos of people on YouTube, Google, YouTube together, TikTok. Okay. Yes, TikTok is like the second biggest search function right now. And third is ChatGPT, AI. We will be doing a future webinar on AI and how to use ChatGPT for realtors. I hope this webinar was valuable. I hope you guys take action. Z, you got some questions that you want to throw at me, brother?
We got a handful lined up over here, guys. Just so you know, to get those questions answered, don't throw them in the chat. There's a Q&A section next to the chat on the screen. I saw a couple come in, but they kind of get lost in all the comments. So throw them in there so I can see them to make sure whatever it is you want to say gets answered. We're starting out at question number 1 from Ray. He says, "We are a startup company. Are there any free CRMs you recommend for a startup on a budget?"
Look, I don't know about a free one, but for me, a CRM, if it's $50 a month, $600 a year, and your revenues that you're projecting is more than that, $601, I need you to just get that. So I would say start off with something like Follow Up Boss. That's a fantastic CRM.
Cool, good stuff. Appreciate you, Ray. Great question. Moving on to Taha. How to improve our conversational ability in brackets, sales and non-sales?
Yeah, look, I think it's a great question. What you want to do is role play as much as possible. I think you want to make the mistakes within somebody that can hold you accountable. Maybe if you're comfortable, reach out to Z, send him an email. Z, put that in the chat.
100.
Strategy call with you. In
Cool.
fact, open that up for everybody.
Yeah, we'll throw it in for everybody. Why not? Next question coming in from Ahmed. How do I create an email newsletter week by week? Templates, ideas?
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, you do it in your CRM. All CRMs will allow you to have templates to do that. Before I fully just answer that question, I want to just finish my thought, Z. For everybody who's right now, I'm in the mood because I guess, I just came off stage here in Chicago, and we're setting up for another one in the next day or two. I want to offer a strategy session with my team for free for 20 minutes. Okay. They're going to find out where some of your current obstacles and holes are, and they're going to leave you with free resources. Okay. Like literally, we'll give you the emails for the person who just asked the question. Okay. We'll give you the emails. You can take those emails and actually set them up and use them for yourself. For everyone else who wants to start up an email newsletter, go into ChatGPT, put in the prompt, I am a local realtor in XYZ market. I want to send out a bi-weekly newsletter to my prospects, family, and friends, educating them on real estate. Please, ChatGPT, provide me with the 26 emails every other week. The topics, great. Now, all these topics, I need the full email written, ChatGPT. 52 seconds, it writes you all the emails. Next question.
Sweet. Okay, so listing presentation. Is it worthwhile to invest in a flashy booklet to present, or just as effective to keep it as a conversation with stats and prints out of comparables?
Yeah, so I like you got to put both of them in there in terms of keep the conversation, keep the talk very conversational, but people like to see things. So bring the stats, show them what you have sold in the area. If you haven't sold anything, your team, your company, the real estate board that you're on. We're all on a real estate board. You can say we sold this. It doesn't have to be you as Tyler that actually sold the place. Okay. But you need to show them that we just sold 62 homes in the last 90 days. We know this area, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. It's not a matter of if we're going to be able to sell this. It's a matter of what are you going to price it at? You see how I'm turning it on them to the question before? The reason I'm able to speak like that is because I've been practicing it and doing it for 20 years. So you not knowing it, I understand that you're not as confident as me. That's okay. But there's no excuse for not trying to learn. So reach out to Z and have that strategy session. Z, I got Literally 3 more questions I can take, brother.
All right, cool. Let's move on to Lindsay's question. Do the voice podcasts help at all?
100,000%. Yes, yes, Lindsay, do the podcast. I would highly recommend, Lindsay, don't do it as just a audio though. If there's an insecurity about something, I get it. Because I think it was you who said something about relatable in the comments. You need to do it as a video. And the reason is, I don't even need you to look at the camera. I just need the video camera on you, because then what we can do is take that video and cut up clips. In fact, if you guys don't follow me on social, follow me on social. In the next 36 hours, literally in the next 36 hours, you are going to see a clip of this webinar on my social media, because on top of this camera, on top of my phone that I'm doing the Zoom webinar on, I don't have a laptop, guys. I have a camera that's recording me. So my team is going to take that, Lindsay, and cut it up and put a bunch of clips out.
Good stuff. Next question. We're going to move on to Iman's question. Jazz, you have been remarkably been in the industry for 17 years and just started 6 years ago being active on social media. So you had a database to work off. What's your advice for agents who are just starting?
Get started with the 3 things that I told you to do. So if you don't have a CRM, I need you to start investing into it. And then I want you to look into your phone. Look into your phone and start with the letter A and start putting those people into the database and calling them and saying the first person's going to be Laura on, in your database. Well, that doesn't really make sense because it doesn't start with A. So it's going to be Adam. Okay. Adam, it's Iman calling. It's been a long time. And then you're going to remind them where you know each other. We went to high school together. Your brother knows my sister, all that stuff. You remember? Yeah, Adam? Awesome. Listen, Adam, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just wanted to see if I can get your opinion on some of the marketing I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sending some emails, inviting you to events. I would love for you to see some of my stuff on social media. I'm a big girl. I'm a big boy. I can handle the constructive criticism. Let me know. So guys, that's what I just did there. I bring that person into the database. So you're a new agent. You got to do that all day. If you don't have people, after you're done on your phone, then you go into your social media and DM and private message people. Laura, it's been a long time. I love those fashion videos of yours. Where do you what inspired you to do that? She's going to yippity, yippity, yippity. Yeah, great. Hey, Laura, I'm just curious. I would love to get your feedback. Same line that you would have said on the phone. Now you put it in the DM. Now you're done that. You still don't have people. Great. I want you to go to the street. And in the middle of the street, I want you to throw a rock. And somebody's going to look at the rock and say, and what you're going to say is, whoa, you're the first person who looked at that rock all day. How's your day going? Listen, I'm just curious. I'm starting in the real estate business, and I would love to get your opinion on the marketing I'm doing. See, guys, I can't stress this enough. We need people to buy shit from us, and we need people to sell stuff to. You have the inventory. You just don't have enough people. So we already know where the problem is. Just go find more people. Next.
Cool. This one's coming in from Hassan. How do you keep the momentum of calling and income producing activities on a daily? I'm just not consistent. Any suggestions?
Yeah, get into an environment where they're doing it. Because when you get into an environment, Z, show me your bicep, bro. Give me it.
All right. I'll try for you guys.
If you guys are working out with Z tomorrow, okay, and you don't actually lift the weights, he's not going to want to work out with you because you're wasting his time. He has a system in his brain. He has a process that he goes through every day, okay, when he's working out in the gym. He's a nice guy. He wants to help you. But if you're going to waste your time and not lift the weight, he's going to say, dude, can you go lift weights somewhere else? That's what top 1%er people do. So to your question, get in the room where people are doing it at a high level, because when you don't do it at a high level, they're going to want you out. So then you only have one option other than leaving, which is pull up your socks and do the work. Get around people. I don't know where you are, Hassan. If you're in Toronto or the GTA, I'm not even screwing around. Go to ftguacademy.com/consultation. You're in Toronto. Great. FTGU academy.com/consultation.
Drop it in the chat.
Take the call. Everyone should. It's free. And our team's going to drop a bunch of resources for you. But someone like you, Hassan, we do have a program where you're with us taking phone calls. And I don't let you fuck around. Last one.
Okay, cool. This one's coming in from Raj Beer. I'm about to change brokerages. Current brokerage I'm at is a 95-5 split, but no coaching. Trying to get in the top producing team, but they're with a 50-50. Please advise, what should I do?
I would go knock on 5 of the team leaders' doors, and I have a funny feeling that one of them will take you if you say, look, I'm down for the 50-50, but I'll also help out with other things. What else do you need help with? Team leader. Not sure. Like, I can't think of, do you have meetings where you meet people, for example, appointments? Can I go get the coffee for you and the client? I'll set up the boardroom. See, if you can't bring people to your table, that's okay. Just bring coffees to other people's tables. Another way of saying that is the guy or the gal that brings the most value to the marketplace will always have a higher income, because your current income is determined by the value you're bringing to the marketplace. You want a higher income? Bring more value, period. It's a law. It's the way that it's always worked. You want a higher income? Bring more value. There's a reason Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. The fucking guy is trying to take us to Mars. If that's not value, I don't know what is. And that's why he's the richest man in the world. Guys, I truly, truly appreciate you being on this webinar. I mean, our numbers stayed consistent for the whole thing. It's really, really awesome to see on a Wednesday night, wherever you are, or Wednesday afternoon. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here. And that really means a lot from myself and the team that I mentioned. If there's a couple of more questions, and maybe Tyler's on, if he's comfortable, Tyler, you can answer those questions. Thank you, Jaws. Ready to be the top 1%. Let's go, Jim Kelly.
Yeah, Jim.
Let's go. All right, guys, I love you. I'm signing off from Chicago. Make sure you check out my content, because it's all about, helping you real estate professionals not only do more deals, but create a business around your life, not the other way around. I highly recommend that you follow Laura Stewart as well to get some ideas on her content. And just send her a DM and tell her she's not just tell her this: your content is not as good as Jazz's. Love you guys. Good night.
Good stuff. All right, guys, if you had any questions that weren't answered, your best bet to get those answered ASAP is book that free strategy session, because that's genuinely the point of those strategy sessions, is just to see where you're at in your business and see how we can potentially help fill those gaps with you, or give you some free value so you can go out and do it yourself. So I will drop that in the chat, but for the last time. I think it's the third time we've dropped it in there. So hopefully, if you guys didn't see it before, you see it now. And I see a bunch of you have already been booking them, which is fantastic. We got, oh my God, we got like at least 10 in there. So good stuff, guys. And we hope you guys got as much value out of this as possible. And especially you guys who are not, in Toronto as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you who are, keep your eyes on your email for all the value-based emails we're going to be sending you, as well as in December, we're going to be having a in-person event. The dates to that on that will be sent out to you guys sooner rather than later, but just keep a watchful eye out for that, because again, more free value, and we can do a little face-to-face meetup. It'll be nice. Really good stuff. Okay, Ty, you got anything, or we good?
Hello, everyone. Talking about always working leads from everywhere. I'm with my 2 little ones right now. We're playing with Lego while I'm tuning into the webinar. I really think the fundamentals what Jazz is speaking about is so important. Every single day, it's my main focus in our real estate organization to go outbound. I've been doing it for a decade, calling our leads and providing value. Every single time someone picks up the phone and you speak with them, you do not leave the call without getting one win on the call. And the hierarchy of wins is either making sure they're seeing your content, they're subscribed to your content, They're seeing your emails. They're coming to one of your upcoming events and try to do 4 a year at the minimum. I've personally done over 4 this year, not including all the events I've done for FTGU and REC. So I'm probably at almost 20 events at this point. And if after that, it's booking that one-on-one appointment called the Real Estate Action Plan. And no matter what, it's an easy way to get a win on the phone, even if you don't get all the rest of the other stuff, is to make sure you speak about the next point of contact, the next time you're actually going to be reaching out to them. And it's so important. And always work the leads, no matter what, even when you're with your 2 little ones. It was great today. Jazz did his thing, especially in Chicago. I'm happy that we were able to speak with all of you great realtors here.
Absolutely. Well said. Couldn't have said it better myself.
And if anyone has any CRM questions, sorry, Z.
100%.
I'm a tinkerer with CRMs. I love CRMs. Just go and reach out to Z, to Xavier. And if there's any CRM specific questions, I'm in the office with him.
He's not kidding. He's not kidding. He sits 2 desks down for me. He's done our entire CRM top to bottom, and all the immersioners who come in and work with us on their business, Ty basically lays out their entire CRM, so it's streamlined and it's very pretty to look at. It's as OCD and organized as you can possibly imagine. It's kind of wild. Makes my life very easy. I'm very grateful.
Yeah. If anyone does have any CRM related questions, just through the strategy session that Z put in the link there, just ask away and I'll be there. If I'm not on a one-on-one call with one of our real estate investors, I'll be available, make myself available to at least answer those questions for you guys.
100%. Guys, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great night or afternoon or whatever time zone you're in. I know we got some Vancouver guys in here. And yeah, keep an eye on your email. We will all be in touch very soon. And have an amazing rest of the week, guys.
Okay, bye now.
Beauty. See ya.